All right, so we're gonna start today with a quote out of the book. First, you jump off the cliff and you build the wings on the way down. That's from Ray Bradbury, a popular science fiction and fantasy author. My name is Bobby Brown, Coach Bobby Brown, and I am with Sober Life Right. What I do is I help people live their most amazing lives free from drugs and alcohol. I do that through one-on-one coaching. I do that through these videos, hopefully. And just by sharing what's worked for me. I'm also a man in long-term recovery. What that means for me is that today I am living an amazing life I absolutely love. I'm doing it free from drugs and alcohol. It's been that way since July 22nd, 2021. That was definitely not the start of my recovery journey. I've been in recovery for over a decade now. I've been coaching in one form or another for close to 30 something years now. So I'm going through the book, The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. I have my copy here. Amazing book. This is a top 5 book for me. It breaks down kind of an encyclopedia of things that successful people do. If you're interested in this book, I am an Amazon affiliate. I make a small commission anytime you use my link to buy the book. So I put that in the description. So regardless, please, I just like to see this book in as many people's hands as possible. This is probably the book that I've gifted to more people than anything else. Just absolute game changer for me. So let's get right into the chapter. So what this is all about is something that I practice a lot of ways and have learned to practice a lot of ways in my life. It's all about just going ahead and taking those first steps, that next step that needs to be taken without really knowing the outcomes. And what he goes on to build is talks about how, like, we don't, even though we may have like an end game in mind, and we may have something that we're working towards, that sometimes just taking that first action will open doors we never even thought of. This fits a lot in line with, I work a 12-step program, so it relates a lot to me to probably some of the third step, which is turn your will in your life over, making a decision to turn my will in my life over the care of God as I understand Him. So what that talks about is that, like, I don't, what I do today, all right, I try and make sure it's just the right thing. I try and do it within God's will, and then I trust God to have the right outcomes for me. My Christian faith has become a huge part of my recovery, a huge part of my life. One of the things that makes my life absolutely amazing. It is Good Friday today, so I think that's kind of appropriate to, like, make sure that I'm putting God first, and that I speak on that, because I do feel like everything that I'm living, this amazing life, is an absolute gift, an absolute miracle. And that is how I try and live my life. There's a third step prayer that I say every morning. I say 2 versions of it because I'm in 2 12-step programs. And somehow or another, that prayer reinforces God shows up and has given me some pretty amazing outcomes. And like most of it, if I sit back and I think about, okay, where was I? Where did I think I would be now compared to where I am now? Like, it's almost always just better than I thought it would be, if I wait long enough. All right. There'll be times where I'm in disappointment, just like everybody else. Things didn't work out how I thought they were going to. Let's talk a little bit about some of the stories in the book. One of them talks about a young lady that knew that she wanted to be a singer, and she took singing classes. She did some gigs. She went to Nashville. She realized that, like, being a singer and getting a record deal in Nashville was kind of like hitting the lottery. But then she opened herself up to, okay, well, what is it that I'm really looking for here? Why do I want to be a singer? Why do I want a record deal? I think this is important. She was able to peel the layers back and get to what it is that she really wanted. And I think this is key. And it's something that I talk about as I'm coaching people. Right? Her real desire to get a record deal was because she wanted to inspire people with her music. She wanted to make people happy through sharing her music. Doesn't require a record deal to do that. What is my real desire with building a coaching company? You know, I have some amazing, huge dreams for what I want to do with all this. Like, I'm kind of blown away. I'm using AI now, and I'm collaborating, and I'm got this huge vision of where I want this to be. Like, I want this to be a movement. I want to be able to like reach people and help people live these amazing lives so that it's ridiculous to go back to drugs and alcohol. I want to be able to build systems that help people get free from addiction faster. I want to identify best practices. I want to be everywhere. I want to be talking about how to live an amazing life without drugs and alcohol, like everywhere I can be seen, because I think we've been told so many lies around why we need to drink. We've been told so many lies about what it takes to be happy, and that drugs can create this place of being, that it can take away all our pain, that it can make life more fun. It can make, you know, you're gonna find cuter guys and girls if you drink. You're going to go to amazing vacation destinations, like billions and billions of dollars in advertising spent to like tell us this lie that tells us to put these chemicals into our body that basically cause brain damage. They take away. We've got this amazing God-gifted instrument, the human body, the human brain, and billions of dollars are spent convincing us to hijack that. It's kind of mind-blowing when I think about it. But like, all that's not going to happen overnight. Like, having one of my goals right now, June 29th, I want to have 1 million views. Well, guess what? I'm probably not going to hit the lottery, and the first video that I make is going to have 1 million views just pop off. It's probably not going to happen. But if I don't record the first video, it's guaranteed to never happen. You know, I joked around at work last night with one of my coworkers. She was like, "Will you be here tomorrow?" I was like, "Well, yeah, unless I win the lottery." Well, guess what? I'm not winning the lottery because I don't buy lottery tickets. Don't have any intention of buying lottery tickets either. I'm also a Dave Ramsey fan. I'm gonna plug another book. Dave Ramsey's The Total Money Makeover. Dave calls lottery tickets the idiot tax. So if you are somebody that buys lottery tickets and you feel attacked, you should read the book. I'll put a link to that as well in the description. Please buy books from me. I've got another goal to make $1 million. I would like to hope that some of that comes from a small little bit of commission off of books that people buy because they like my recommendations on it. So how can we use this to help others? I have I spent the last year, going on 1.5 years, working as a recovery coach for a nonprofit. And what I worked, I spent 1 year in a specialty court. I now work in a sobering center where we're working with the City of Houston's new homeless initiative, and the idea that kind of a housing first approach, get people out of survival mode so that then they can do it. And I wasn't sure how I felt about that at first, but I'm starting to see some real success in it. So I'm starting to become a believer. I think one of the keys to sobriety is you have to have a stable home. The former SAMHSA, which has now been recently dissolved, with our current office, and I won't discuss my politics on that, but it talked about 4 pillars that recovery needs to stand on. One of those is home life, and then the other 3 are your health, your community, and a sense of purpose. Having a sense of purpose is very in line with what part of what I coach. I'm working on kind of my framework for how I coach, just kind of getting it into a system. Like, I know I know how I coach now. I'm kind of putting it into words, and part of that is starting with a firm foundation, where you have to know why you're here. You have to have a sense of purpose. You have to have a reason to want to stay sober. You've got to know the reasons why you started to quit, and why you even started seeking out some help. So, but that is that kind of is a good bit of the chapter. I highly suggest you read the book. It's got so much more information. Jack's been doing this for years and years and years. Probably my top 2 favorite life coaches, along with Can't Mess with Tony Robbins, who's his excitement and energy is like nobody else. And if you like these videos, please hit the like button. Please hit the bell, subscribe to see more. I'm working on doing some really big things, and I'd love for you to be able to see these things. And I hope that these things help people. And let's talk if you're someone that you know that you want to coach, and you've been thinking about it, you've been trying to figure out the right coach, and you like what I'm saying, you're highly motivated to make some quick, massive changes in your life. You're ready to take that first step, then lean into it today. Leave a comment, leave lean in the comments, or DM me, or visit my website, www.soberliferight.com, and book a call with me. Lots and lots of ways you can get in touch with me. And let's just sit down and we can talk, and we'll see if we can figure out kind of where you're at, where you want to be, and if I can help. And if so, like that's the goal, to help as many people as possible to have amazing lives, and in the process, fill my purpose. So God bless you all.